Third genders have existed in societies around the world for centuries. Examples of third genders in different societies are the Hijra in India, the eunuchs in China, and the Zuni Bardash in New Mexico. However, the lives of third-gendered people are not the same as those of men or those of women. Third genders serve a role in society that can neither be fulfilled by men nor women. Such roles fall under the three categories of economic, cultural and performance, and religious roles. Third gender served an economic role in society that neither men nor women could serve in order to provide themselves with money. In imperial China, eunuchs served the emperor as palace menials as well as harem watchdogs. Eunuchs were needed as watchers rather than heterosexual men because hordes of sexually impotent men were needed to guard the chastity of imperial ladies languishing in the teeming women's quarters, as stated by Anderson in Hidden Power. In India, the Hijra often engaged in and earned a living through homosexual prostitution, which was an unacceptable role for a man to fulfill. Separate religious opportunities were also provided for third genders that men nor women could fulfill. In classical Indian society, the Hijra were viewed as vehicles of the divine powers of the mother goddess, which transforms their impotence into the power of generativity, as stated in Hijra roles. This means that the Hijra have a special connection with the mother goddess, which gives the Hijra the power to make other people fertile, although they themselves cannot have children. In imperial China, eunuchs were ordained to become Lamist priests, which the palace maintained expressly to attend to the spiritual welfare of the female inmates, states Anderson from Hidden Power. This role couldn't be fulfilled by heterosexual men for the same reason that heterosexual men couldn't act as watchdogs, which was to guard the chastity of the imperial ladies. In New Mexico, the Zuni Bardash were considered people of the middle place, meaning that they thought they were all balanced and at the center of the world. Men and women can individually contain both genders and be whole, whereas the Bardash are considered whole. Their middleness was celebrated in cultural festivals. There were also cultural performance roles that third gender served. These performances couldn't be provided by men or women. The eunuchs in imperial China were idolized in 18th century opera houses of Europe, having been emasculated as children to preserve their male soprano voices, as stated in Hidden Power. Being physically emasculated is how the eunuchs maintained such a high-pitched voice. Heterosexual men in the imperial China didn't fulfill the same singing role as the eunuchs because they weren't emasculated. The Hijras in India performed at homes where a male child had been born. They also performed at marriages. This was a role for the Hijra versus men or women because of the religious power that the Hijra maintained, as well as their strong connection to the mother goddess. In New Mexico, the Chalaco Festival was held to celebrate the Zuni Bardash. This festival combined devotion and delight, prayer and celebration, religion and drama, into a showcase of the cultural achievements of the people of the Middle Place, as described by Roscoe in Zuni Man-Woman. All of these different roles provided the third genders with a niche in society, as well as a purpose in their daily lives. Had specific roles in each of these societies not been reserved for third genders alone, they would have had no purpose in such a society.